Hey guys, my name is Samantha Biffle and I'm Programs Coordinator at Panhandle-Plains Historical Museum, and I'm going to show you a few of my favorite vintage or vintage-inspired items for Way Back Wednesday. So let's go on this journey together. I'm going to turn the camera around. All right, we're gonna start right over here. First up, we've got these beautiful cameo earrings. The design on the front is what's called a cameo. They're a clip-on earring. I got these at an estate sale a few years ago, and I just love how elegant they are. I'm told also that these are authentically carved from shell. A lot of cameos today are made out of plastic, and that's part of the reason I bought them. I think they're really timeless. I love the design. Showcased on a lovely Dolly Parton coaster with a kitten, because why not? What a great gift I got from your friend. Next up, we're gonna go to these delightful pink boots. These are late 80s, early 90s Justin Ropers. They're Diamond J, which I guess means they were a little bit fancier and a little bit more expensive. I bought them on a website called Poshmark, and that's another way you can acquire vintage items if you'd like. It's, a nice online website, and I was able to get these at a very reasonable price, and I love them. I think they're such a fun statement boot and kind of jazz up any outfit. Next up, we have Black Beauty. I know we're covering books on another day, but this story is really special to me. It was a favorite when I was growing up, and I found this edition at a half-price bookstore in San Antonio when I lived there, and I just loved it. I cannot find a date on it, so if you're knowledgeable about books, please let me know. I would love to know when it's from. It's a fairly early printing. The book was published at first edition 1877, but the publisher doesn't match up with that publisher. So who knows? Maybe you do. Please let me know. Love to showcase a woman author also, and it's a really interesting book and a good read. Next we have my dad's Fraternity Sweater. This is really special. The way I acquired this was not through purchase. He gave it to me. It was a really special item for him to share. I think of him every time I wear it, and I wear it pretty often, honestly. It's one of my favorite things in my closet, and I love the sort of retro mustardy brown color. It's from the late 70s, early 80s. So makes sense for that timing, right? Next, we are moving on to enamel pins, which may not be vintage, but are vintage inspired. A good way to express yourself. We are not going to talk about all of these, please don't worry, but we are going to talk about these right here. First up, we have this Hollinger or Gaylord archival museum box. If you're a museum nerd, you might recognize that guy. I love that. I think it's so silly and museum nerdy. It was a gift from a friend, and it's one of my very favorites. I love that pin. I also have Museum Connection pin number 2. That is a shoe from the Met's collection. I believe it's Ferragamo, and they have quite a few pins in their store that are actual items from their collection, which I think is really nice. That's the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Next up, we have this fun rattlesnake pin. I actually have 2 other colors because I love it that much. This is from a designer based out of LA who used to live in Lubbock and is actually one of my dear friends. Her line is called Goshi, and the first issue was all sort of Western themed items, and I just love this snake. He's like such a fun addition to any garment. Next, we have our What Would Dolly Do pin. Gotta close it out on Dolly. Basically, a good thing to ask yourself anytime, in my opinion. All right, I think that's it. Thank you for looking at my collection with me, and let us know what you like to collect that's vintage or vintage inspired. I would love to see.